guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. I still don't sound great. I'm still suffering with my sinuses and hay fever and bits and pieces, so I do sound like a bit like a robot, so do excuse me. But thanks for tuning back in. I'm really pleased about to bring you this watch. This is a Proxima. I've not had an awful lot of Proxima watches on the channel, but one thing I know about them is they do make exceptional watches. They made this an iteration of this watch a little while ago with a bezel. This looks pretty much the same but with a high polished bezel, and this kind of spoke to me a little bit more. I saw it a couple of times, spoke to them, they sent it over. I did get a bit of a discount, which is why you would have seen it includes paid promotion. Doesn't make any difference. The reason I bought it was I just really like the look of it. I won't have anything in that I don't like the look of, to be honest. I'm not just going to any watch in. It's one that I really need to like the look of, and hopefully it looks as good as I thought. Or I'll just be honest and tell you it's not. They can do better. Is this going to be one of those watches? Is this going to be one of those watches that just knock it out of the park? Or you could have done better? Because that's what we all want to know before we sort of part with our hard-earned money. They're the questions we've all got, isn't it? So I'm going to try my best to answer them for you. Obviously, we'll go through all the good stuff, and then you can make your mind up as to whether it's for you or not. But thank you for tuning back in. I appreciate all your support. And with that being said, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Alright guys, so this is the watch. Do excuse my hands. I've had a bit of a injury. It didn't happen anything spectacularly. Just I was filling up a hot water bottle for the missus, and the hot water bottle won, suffice to say. So got a little bit of a burn on my hand, but we'll persevere. This is the watch. As you can see, it's a Proxima. It's one that I was really intrigued to get in. Proxima do make some outstanding watches. I've had a couple in. I've owned a couple before. I did feature one on the channel a while ago, so I thought it was a good time to get another one in. And this is a real beautiful watch, in my opinion. It did come, rather than being just wrapped up in plastic, it came with a bit of plastic on it and wrapped in this drawstring bag. Inside, I put it underneath. You do have 4 links removed. 2 are normal links, 2 are half links. Screwdriver, instruction manual, and a nice signed warranty card there. We do like to see that, and that's a lot, you guys. I'll put that back. Sort of briefcase box it comes in a phone to keep it safe in transit, and that's your lot. And then what you have is this watch. The model number for this is the PX1690-2A. It looks extremely similar to the dive watch that they had out a little while ago. I did quite like it with the high polished bezel, though. The high polished bezel, as you can see, is not too thick. It's sort of like the right proportions, and I really like the pictures of it. So grabbed it in. They were good enough to give me a little bit of a discount, but as you guys know, that won't change anything. But yeah, the PX1690-2A. Inside, it's running a PT5000 movement. I'll bring some information up about that movement now. Yeah, high beat movement. A clone of the SW200, and therefore a clone of the ETA 2824. These can be cost certified. I dare say I'm not sure this one won't be, but I know that they can run within those parameters. So do bear that in mind, guys. I've not had one that isn't good. They're very good movements. There's a good reason people like them and use them as readily or as much as they do now, because they're just very good movements. So yeah, there we go. The construction of the watch, aside from the crystal, is 316L stainless steel. So it's a bit of a mixture, really, guys. So you got a high polished bezel. You got brushed at the tops, sort of vertical brushing going along the sides at the top of the lugs, polished at the sides of the case. You got nice satiny brush on the top of the bracelet. That does become also brushed at the sides. You have got screw pins just keeping it in place. Brushed on the clasp, faceted edge going down the sides. Quite a few levels of micro adjustment and brush at the back. So a lot of brush surfaces and a few polished surfaces chucked in for good measure, which always works quite well, doesn't it? Because it gives you sort of the contrast, and also it allows you to see the sort of craftsmanship and finishing of the watch, and the lines on this are done well. So yeah, that's the material of the watch, aside from the crystal, as I say. The case thickness of the watch is 12.4 millimeters. The case diameter, I measure from the 8 to the 2 ordinarily. It was coming in at 37.7 millimeters, And when you go from the 9 to the 3, including that crown, which isn't the smallest, it's coming at 40.9 millimeters. The lug width on this is 20. That does taper down to 16 millimeters and back up to 18 mil at that fully milled clasp. And the lug to lug, tip to tip, is a true lug to lug, as you can see, because it's got female end links of the center link, and it's coming at 44.3 millimeters. So good proportions there, guys. I think that's going to fit a huge amount of wrist sizes given the sort of size and dimensions it has. So there we go. As I've already mentioned, the bezel is a fixed high polished bezel. The case back is sterile. You're going to need to get a different type of tool to unscrew the case back if you wish to do so. I didn't need to, but there you go. And the crown is situated at the 3 o'clock position. It is a screw down crown, high polished, good amount of knurling on there, and I'll show you that in a bit more detail when we look at the dial and stuff. But there we are. As I've already said, stainless steel bracelet, tapers down nicely, nice screw pins. They're recessed into the link themselves. No issues doing that either. Clasp, as I said, sterile. I do like the fact they put a little bit of writing in there, as you'd have seen from the macro at the start, where it says Proxima and Arunian. Obviously, it's the same company. But nice little detail there. And I said 4 level of micro adjustment. I'm using the lowest one at the moment. I probably could go one tighter, but where it's been a little bit more clammy recently, which I'm not going to complain about, might I add, but yeah, that's why I've left it on that one. The crystal covering the dial is sapphire crystal, and as you can see, it does have a reasonable amount of AR coating on there, guys, given the few studio lights that I use are not really showing up too badly on there, which is good to see. And the water resistance is cited as being 200 meters, so that'd give you 20 atmospheres of water resistance, although not certified, guys. But given the fact the crown is screwed down, the case back is screwed down, and the crystal is really well seated, nice, no problems there. I think you could probably take this swimming and stuff. I wouldn't, but I dare say you could, no problem. And the weight will appear in the top right. It's 121, just over 121 grams with those 4 links removed, as I said, of which 2 are half links. So with all those links back in, you're probably touching about 140 grams. So still a decent amount of heft given the sort of proportions of the watch. And one thing I forgot to mention, guys, excuse me, it has got quick release pins just to make it easier to sort of change out, and has got drilled lugs on there also. Excuse me, I should have mentioned that previously. But let's have a look at the dial now, guys, in just a bit more detail. So it's a white enamel dial. You got a minute track going around the outer edge. You got indices everywhere. You got circular indices. You got a triangular indices. You got a smaller one at the 6 o'clock position to make way for that date border. I do like the fact the date border is there. It just helps with the symmetry of the watch. You got Proxima printed onto the dial, just below the inverted triangle at the 12. You got automatic just above the date border down at the 6 o'clock position. One thing that was outstanding on this watch, guys, is the loom. Cop a load of this. Yeah, very, very good. I think it's probably helped by the fact that this was the sort of pretty much the same watch they featured on their dive watch. So that's not going to hurt too bad. But yeah, what can I say? Very, very good loom. The hands, let me just undo the crown very quickly, guys. Give me a moment. And I'll just take it out to my normal sort of position, 20 past 8. As you can see, it hacks. The hands especially, I'll bring some footage up now. I did really like how they've done them in terms of, you got brushed, it looks brushed and polished on there, which is no mean feat in such a small area. And it was nice to see those sorts of details on a more affordable automatic watch. So that was nice to see. The indices also good proportions, a little bit off-white. So maybe that could have been the same colour. It doesn't concern me too much, but maybe that could have been white, like pure white if you like. You got lollipop on the second hand. You saw the loom a moment ago. Very, very good. Very clean dial. Looks very, very nice. Very sporty type of dress watch. Take the crown out to the second position, as you'd have seen a moment ago. It does hack. You put it back into sort of the neutral position, the position it's at after you unscrew it from the case. If you turn it away from you, you'll hear that nice positive feeling when you turn the crown, you take it out to the first position, if my fat fingers will let me, and if you turn it away from you, you can see it changes the date, and it really sounds very positive. Listen to this, guys. Nice. It's nice to hear that. And as I say, then once you're done, you just screw it back up. No issues whatsoever. But that's the dial, guys. That's everything that's going on with that. Just give me one moment. I'll pop it on the wrist. Give you an idea of what it looks like on my wrist. So my wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist for your reference. And what do you think? I think she's a little stunner. I'm not going to lie. Very, very nice. And you would have seen it on the couple of Vario straps that I also popped it on. Thank you for Vario for sending them over a little while ago. Ivan's a real legend over there. Thank you very much, mate. But let me give it a quick wipe. And that will take me on to what I think is pants and pucker about the watch. If you ever watched before, you know I always start with pants. I like to go on a high with pucker. So not a great deal to say on pants, guys. I'm going to be brutally honest. I do really like this watch. I'm going to be keeping this for a little while. Oops, I don't want to go too soon. But the only thing I would mention for the pants really is I'd go with the unsigned elements. It's just a bit sterile. The watch generally, I think, is nice. No signage on the crown, clasp or case back. Very, very sterile in nature. So the unsigned elements would be the only thing I'm going to say really, because I do really like the watch. See, the unsigned elements, what I think is pucker, lots more. The date location is good. It's probably my favourite location to have a date, just because it doesn't mess up the symmetry, which is good. The hands and indices, but more in keeping, but more so. Give me a second, guys. But more so the hands, just because I showed you a moment ago. I do like the finishing on the hands. I think that they're done very, very well. The loom, yeah, I couldn't not mention the loom, could I? The loom is outstanding on this watch. The bracelet, in terms of the finishing, in terms of the taper, in terms of the pins, yeah, very, very good. On top of that, the half links are tremendous. The fact they give you half links to be able to get the exact fit you like was a nice surprise. You have 2 on each side, I believe, if I recall correctly, and yeah, it worked out very, very well. So you got one more there, yeah. So I think you got 3 half links in total. 2 I've taken out, and you've still got 1 left in there. Is that correct? Yeah. That's how it looks. So yeah, you're going to be able to get that perfect fit for your wrist. And finally, just the general look. I do like it. I really do like it. It's something that as soon as I saw it, I was thinking I really want to have a look at this to see if it's as good in person as it looks on the pictures. So just to surmise what I think is pucker, guys, I'll go with the date location, hands and indices, loom, bracelet, half links, and the general look of the watch. And would I recommend the watch? Of course I would, given the fact that I really was struggling, guys. Sterile elements are not going to bother everyone, but I do like brands to do a little bit of signage. But otherwise, I think it's a cracking watch. Really, really nice, beautiful looking piece. One I've really, really enjoyed wearing, and it's not come off my wrist now for a couple of weeks, and that's unheard of for a watch collector. So yeah, I'll definitely recommend this, guys. But please, please, please let me know what you think about this watch, more importantly. And maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the very best.